Hi friends, this is Carmen with you today, and Rosie also. I've been wanting to do this video for a while now to share with you what my balcony's been looking like. I've been adding a lot of things to it, so let's get to it and I can show you what I have growing out here. Back here in the corner I have what is left of my San Pedro cactus. I recently did a propagation on it and cut it into two pieces. This is the bottom piece that was left in the original pot. It's doing well. I'll show you the other two pieces here in just a little bit. And this planter here is full of thick trailing succulents. Basically it has some elephant bush in it, some sedum, voodoo, some string of bananas, string of beads there, but also some chalk fingers and some jade plant in the center. And it's sitting on a bar stool that I picked up at Goodwill. Down here in this terracotta pot I have an Echeveria gibiflora and some sedum voodoo. Also, it's finally starting to fill in. It took a little while for this guy to fill in. On this wrought iron table I have this variegated jade that I'm trying to grow as a bonsai. We'll see how that does. But right behind it I have the recent miniature fairy garden that I did with a mermaid theme, and that's doing really well out here. I'll put the link to that video of how I created this planter here, and I'll put that in the description box. These two chairs I got actually at a thrift store. I've had them for a while. They're older, but they're hanging in there, and I really love the way they look out here. They're very comfortable, and the rug, it's a 5x7 rug I got at American Furniture. Hanging on the wall here, I have a couple of baskets that are cocoa lined. One of them has a string of bananas in it, another one is a sedum. And I have them hanging on these hooks on the wall that leads into the small storage space on our balcony. I'm not allowed to put any nails in the walls on the balcony here, so I have to kind of improvise and do what I can as far as hanging things and taking advantage of the wall space by hanging them on hangers or on trellises, as you can see. This pot down here I've had for a long time. You can see it's a plastic pot, so it's kind of faded, but I've grown so many things in it, and right now it has some sedum in it, and I'm also growing some cilantro in it. Those are the little sprouts there of cilantro. I've got my little turtle in there and a cross, and it holds a lot of things. It's a planter that I really like. And right now I also have a bougainvillea in it. It's kind of a lighter foliage color, but it has a brilliant lavender color to the flowers, and hopefully it will go right up this trellis here. Bougainvilleas are very popular here in Phoenix area, and they do very well. On this little planter I have what's left of a string of fish hooks I believe it is. The main plant died, but I had some cuttings that I put in here, and they're doing well. They're actually growing, so we'll see how that does. I have a couple of crown of thorns. One is a little bit bushier one, and one is a stalk one that they're both doing really well, growing lots of foliage. They have not flowered yet, so I'm hoping in the springtime they'll flower. This one is actually in a handmade jug that I found at Goodwill and drilled a hole in it, and this one I actually got through Etsy, this crown of thorns, and it has grown so much just from the time that I got it. Behind it I have this bamboo screen, and I put it there to give us some privacy and in the summertime protect us from the afternoon sun. It holds with a hanger also this hanging basket, and it has some variegated elephant bush in it, along with my terracotta sun and moon hanger there. On the front of it here is also a sticks on fire plant, that cutting that I brought from the one I had at my old home, which that one I got as a cutting from my mom's plants. So this is what, about the third generation, and I just took cuttings from this one also that I'll show you in just a little bit. So these are so easy to propagate, but you do need to be careful because these euphorbias do have a sap to them that you need to be very careful. These stalks here in the front are also a euphorbia, and they're just growing beautifully, brilliant red leaves to them. Love it, but again, you do need to be careful of the milky sap to them. It can irritate your skin a lot. The front here, I have an aloe striata. I had to cut some of the leaves on it because it came actually sun damaged. Right behind it is a Ceresus monstros, and Eve's needle in the back here crested, and I saved that from the clearance section at Lowe's along with this euphorbia Indian corn cob. It's finally giving off sprouts, but both of these plants, although they were dying in the clearance section, they're doing wonderful now. And they're sitting in this wrought iron bar cart that I found at a thrift store. Only thing wrong with it was that it was missing the front legs. So to remedy that, I put a 2x4 on the bottom here to level it out, and it's working just fine. The bottom shelf holds some of my birdhouses and little statues. There's an aloe pink blush, and also in the little wooden box there, I've got a Haworthia zebra plant. Here is the cutting from the San Pedro cactus that I was telling you about. This is the middle section. It's already taking root. And this is a perennial Moses in the cradle. It was actually on my front porch and it was not doing well there, so I brought it back here to kind of take care of it a little bit better. This is the second aloe striata that I have. You can see this one also came with sunburnt leaves on it, so I'm going to have to cut that down. I have a sedum here. I believe it's lime gold it's called, along with my baby toes, and then a little bowl there of some I believe angel wings and a thimble cactus. So some small succulents there. This is my Talavera pot. I love this pot, and it's holding a little warty Haworthia, little warty, along with a Crassula springtime. Now this basket here is actually a wire fruit basket that I found at Goodwill, and I put in it a cocoa liner, cut it down to size, and it's kind of a catch-all basket of things that I'm not sure where I'm going to put them yet, so I put them here until I find the more permanent place for them. Here's a pot that has a Echeveria Lola and some string of beads, which are so much hardier than the string of pearls. Kalanchoe tomentosa panda plant in the back. This is my latest miniature fairy garden. In this cup, it has calico kitten and some pork and beans, along with a little house and little girl there. And these are my desert rose adenium plants. They're starting to go dormant here, and some of the leaves are falling off, so I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have to research a little bit more what I need to do for them, but I'm thinking that I'm going to have to bring them inside and give them a little bit more TLC. The sun has shifted, so they're not getting direct sun anymore, so I think that's why they're going dormant on me. So I may bring them inside and have them winter inside. They don't like temperatures below 55. So they may spend the winter inside with me, and we'll see how they do in the springtime. This is a strawberry pot that I purchased at Goodwill recently. I may paint over those strawberries there. I'm not quite sure yet. But in the meantime, I have some calico kitten on the sides there, along with sedum pork and beans. And on the top, it's an Echeveria harmsii that is actually just starting to bloom. In this back planter, I have some lantana, again, very common in the southwest area, but this one has a wonderful, vibrant yellow and pink color to it. And this here is Ixora cochinea Maui yellow. I'd never seen one of these plants before. I found it at the Home Depot, and it's actually a tropical plant, very common in Florida. In the back there, I have some purple mums. It's fall, so you gotta have some mums. And the chair in the background here, I actually found next to the dumpster. You believe someone this away, throwing this away, so I quickly picked it up, brought it back, and it's now a planter stand for my Kalanchoe pink butterflies. And you probably saw recently that I propagated those, and they're growing really well. There's a cutting of my sticks on fire that's doing well. And my terracotta frog here, I've had this guy for like 12 years now. I just love him. He right now has a very large aloe vera plant, and that's doing really, really well. This is an autumn Sedum Autumn Joy, and I got this at clearance again at the Lowe's. It's already flowered, it's already gone to seed, but I cut the seed heads off, and really I got it as more as an investment for next year because it's such a great plant. Some cuttings of purple hearts there, and a vinca that's annual that's kind of hanging on. And these two small pots here, I actually have bulbs that will be coming out in late winter, early spring of freesias or freshias. This sorry little guy is one of my fiddle leaf fig trees. The other one's doing fine, but this one for some reason just did not like where I had him, and a lot of his leaves fell off, and now it's only these two that are left. So hopefully I brought him out here for some fresh air, and hopefully that will help. This pot here has another very popular plant in the Southwest called Ruellia, and it has some tubular purple flowers on it that the hummingbirds love. But I will tell you, this plant is very invasive. If you put it in your garden bed, be ready for it to grow a lot. Have some sedum down at the bottom there also, and that pot's doing really well. This is lavender sea lavender, excuse me, sea lavender. This is also a plant that I brought from my old home. It's finally starting to grow there. It gives off stalks with some beautiful purple flowers on the end of it. Some garden art that I had made there. This plant here is jasmine. It's done flowering for the season, those beautiful white little flowers that jasmines get, but it's still growing. It's got a lot of foliage growing on it, and it's starting to fill in this trellis really well here. I have some freesia bulbs in those planters there as well. This is my small propagation station here, as not very much, but some little leaves that I've got propagating there and some little cuttings. Here is the tip of that San Pedro cactus that I was telling you about. This particular one, when I planted it or potted it, it started to rot, so I had to take it back out, cut it again, and now I'm waiting for it to callus. Got some more cuttings of my sticks on fire. And these little pots here have lettuce and some parsley growing in them. Some supplies. That's an entertainment station that I painted that I have supplies in. This is hibiscus, a red hibiscus plant. Not flowering right now, but it does give off beautiful, brilliant red flowers, but it's growing like crazy as far as foliage. This little guy here, I'm not sure what it is. I brought it from my old home. I thought it was a flower, but it's looking more like a tree. But I'm not going to throw it away. It's growing, and it's green and bushy, and if anybody recognizes it and knows what it is, let me know. But I think I may have a tree there. I'm not sure. The pots on top of this shelving unit here have some really wonderful elephant bush. I've got some cuttings of sticks on fire in the top there to kind of give it some height, but the elephant bush is just going crazy in these pots, and they're just draping beautifully. This one also, some sticks on fire there, and they've just grown so much in just the last few months this summer. I've got some variegated elephant bush in the back of this pot also. Not doing as well as the regular green one, but it's hanging in there also. On the bottom here, I've got a little cutting of fish hooks that's starting to grow there. along with a little mammillaria cacti back there that I'm just hopefully will grow some more. Some kalanchoe bear paws back there, nice and fuzzy bear paws. And these are my split rocks and lithops. Don't have a lot, but the ones I do have are, thank goodness, healthy, and they don't show any signs of flowering or splitting yet, but they're really happy in this little dish. It's just actually like a relish dish that I picked up at Goodwill and drilled some holes in it, and they're happy there. This bird cage has some elephant bush growing in it. I picked this bird cage up at a Goodwill. It also has some crassula string of buttons and pork and beans, seed and pork and beans there, along with my little gnome and his little bench there. And this is basically just some potting soil, and it has sphagnum moss around the edges to hold it in. I do have to water this a little bit more than usual because it does dry out quicker. In this pot here, this wooden pot, actually looks like a torture device. I got this at Goodwill, and I simply lined it with some burlap and put some cactus mix in it, and I've got some sempervivums in there, some sedum, some crassula string of buttons, and crassula springtime in the back there, and they're doing really well here. Right next to it, I've got the kalanchoe copper spoons. Really want to get the silver spoons next, but the copper spoons are doing really well. And this is a Hens and Chicks Sempervivum Cebanese, I believe it is. And it's just finishing flowering. It's got some beautiful, delicate pink flowers on it. And I'm just amazed at the cobweb effect that this succulent has. It's really beautiful. And my Echeveria topsy-turvy, I love these succulents. I have two of them. This first one I got, just love it. And this dish here, this terracotta dish I got at Goodwill, it has some Echeveria neon breakers in it, Haworthia there in the center, and then Kiwonium kiwi on the side there, and another string of beads or string of tears. Again, like I mentioned, those are so much more hardy than the string of pearls. They just seem to grow better and do better. You'll see here in just a moment my string of pearls that I had inside I had to take outside because it was just not doing well at all, and there's what's left of it. So I just find that the string of beads is really much hardier. I've got an aeonium there that's just coming out of dormancy, so I'm looking forward to that blooming and growing some more. And this is kind of my little hospital section here of plants that may not be doing so well, that just need some tender loving care. This red colander I got at Goodwill years ago, and this is another catch-all basket where I put things until I can find a place for them, but it's actually filling out pretty nice. I've got some kalanchoe panda plant and chocolate soldier there, sedum, tricolor, an aloe vera plant, some chalk fingers in the front there, along with an elephant bush. And this is one of my favorite planters, this little red wagon, tin wagon, that I got at Goodwill also. And it does not have drainage holes, so I put some rocks on the bottom, and these small cacti are doing so well there. They're growing. I've actually taken cuttings from them and put in other places. So there you have it, friends. That is my tour of my balcony garden. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section. I'll be glad to answer them. And I'm going to try and do these as a monthly update, and we'll see how we do. Okay? God bless, friends. Thank you.